Our next speaker is Miss Natasha. She is working as a solution manager in Nokia. She has 20 plus years experience in telecom and she is a public speaker. She has done her Bachelor's of Engineering in ECE and she is an MBA in HR and Knowledge Management. Over to you, ma'am.
So first of all, I would like to thank Meha ma'am, Archana ma'am, and entire DSM organizing team for inviting me and giving me this opportunity where I can express my views face to face with such a wonderful audience. So thanks for that, ma'am. And coming to that, I think during last 2 years, I believe almost many of us have been hit through many ups and downs, right? And finally, we are coming out of those unprecedented times. I would tell you what happened was when Meha ma'am called me, I couldn't deny it. Why? Because nowadays, when you are getting an opportunity to express your thoughts face to face, believe me, it's like a cherry on the cake. So I instantly grabbed this opportunity. Okay? So coming to myself now, good afternoon everyone. I'm Natasha Makhija, working as solution manager at Nokia. I have been working with this organization for almost 12 years now. My first job was lecturership out of college. And that time I had a thought in my mind that since I have done Bachelor's of Engineering in Electronics and Telecommunications, why I'm doing lecturership? I should shift to the telecom sector. And this is how my Nokia journey began. Currently, I'm not only working as in technical domain, I'm working as a public speaker and VPPR of Toastmaster International Nokia Noida Club and have been engaged with various people management activities as well. I'm glad to share that I am elected as Nokia social media brand ambassador as well. Thank you. Now you can consider these perks because of having MBA degree in HR and knowledge management. So kudos to HR and knowledge management, okay? Now we will try that we will not make it as a monologue session. We will try to make this session as interactive as we can. However, our two senior speakers have already defined that what multi-generation is. And before we proceed with our TOTD, theme of the day, which is managing multi-generational workforce, let me see how many are you awake actually, okay? So who will going to share your views? What is multi-generation basically? Who is going to tell us? Anyone from the audience? Oh my God, what happened? Okay, so do you know in which category do you fall in? Gen Z. Oh my God, cool. Okay, superb. So let me summarize. There are 5 generations. Of course, sixth generation is coming around, the alpha generation. But I'll talk with respect to 5 generations. First, maturist, who falls under in the pre-1945 era. Second, baby boomers, people who were born during 1945 to 1960. Gen X, people who were born between 1961 to 1980. Gen Y, 1981 to 1995. And Gen Z, who were born after 1995. You very well know that, right? Okay, so I think we have proceed with the multi-generation segregations. But we have seen the aspirations of these generations quite differ. Like maturists had home ownership, baby boomers were inclined towards job security. Gen X concentrates on work-life balance, wherein Gen Y focuses on freedom and flexibility. And if we talk about Gen Z, they require security plus stability, right? The time has gone where leadership position was attainable only based on the number of years of experience that you have. It's a time now where the diversified skills or life skills have an extra edge to give you a leadership role. But before we proceed further, let's understand that what leadership is, okay? Even my ideology was exactly the same till I witnessed Mr. Amit Arora, who is a Doordarshan anchor and CA by profession. And then I realized that this leadership term consists of 9 different qualities. Even though it's a 10-letter word, but today we are going to expand this term in 9 different qualities. So we are going to begin with L. The very first letter of leadership depicts life skills. Life skills are far important than technical skills. Okay? These skills usually clubbed into 3 major categories. First is thinking skills. That represents critical thinking, creative thinking, problem solving, decision making. Second one is personal skills. That includes self-awareness, self-management. Third is interpersonal skills. That represents communication skills, empathy, cooperation, etc. So this is how we define our very first letter of leadership, L, that represents life skills. Now, again, I'll ask one question, okay? Because we have to make this session interactive, right? What will you do if someone offers you 5 crore rupees? What will you do? Okay, one by one, please. I can't hear. I have only 2 years, yeah? With 5 crore? ऐसा कौन सा वर्ल्ड टूर है यार?
Invest in multiple portfolios. First ask him what does he want in return.
Oh, how when I'm looking for a different answer, I'm not getting it. Nobody is close to that. Yet tell me, if a person is putting in efforts to give you 5 crore in today's world, एक thank you तो बनता है. Express gratitude. This is the second letter of leadership. Practicing gratitude is like a benediction. Showing gratitude is one of the most simplest yet most powerful things that we can do. So express gratitude. 1 रुपया भी कोई दे तो यार आज की दुनिया में बहुत है, right? So second letter is E, which we have completed, that represents express gratitude. Our third word is, or third letter is A. Now let me give you one hint. It has a Hindi meaning. Anybody can guess? Atmanirbhar. Very good. Modi ji खुश होंगे सुनकर. Anyone else? Okay, let me tell you. Pass हो गया. Okay, let me tell you. अच्छा होना ज़रूरी नहीं है. I'll just translate. Being good is always not necessary, right? Sometimes it's good to be bad. When you are possessing leadership position, please don't expect that you will appear as a good person all the time. So you got my point, right? Coming to our next letter, which is D. D represents decision making. You should have that quality if you really want to possess a leadership role. Our next letter is E again, but this time this is not express gratitude, okay? We have done it. Now this time it represents ethics. You should do always that work that is being allowed by your conscience. And I'm very glad to share that I'm working in a company, Nokia, which is being defined as one of the world's most ethical company for the 4th years in a row by Ethisphere Institute. So if you are not aware what Ethisphere Institute is, let me tell you. Ethisphere Institute is a global leader in defining and advancing standard ethical business practices. So it's a great movement, right? Coming to letter R, which means respond. Reaction to every situation is not important. Trust me. It's your response to the situation that matters. It's good to be quiet sometimes. It's not always, okay, we are following that Newton's law. For every action, there is always equal and opposite reaction. Forget it. In the organizational world, learn how to respond. So this will help you in attaining the leadership role. Now coming to our next letter, which is combination of SH. And here is a difference. Why we have 9 different qualities in spite of having 10-letter word. So shall I ask again? Sorry if I'm asking too many questions. It's my habit because I'm in a pre-sales domain and I keep asking questions from my customer. So if anybody wants to try, give it a try. What does this SH means actually? Sure. What sure? ज़रूरी नहीं है sure यार. Think from SH. Share. Okay. Showing what? Okay, so let me tell you. It's about sense of humor. Okay? So it is a key role nowadays. Believe me, this quality sometimes diffuses the complex situation. Whether in your interviews, whether in your day-to-day working, many of you may have tried some giving competition exams in those interviews as well. We heard, right? IS के exam में वो पूछा गया, इसका जवाब क्या होगा? Right? So this quality plays a key role. One should possess this quality. This is need of the hour. If I may ask that what would be the name of Burj Khalifa after 100 years? What would you say? This is the standard answer. Now, if you want to add some sense of humor, you may say Burj Khalifa. Right? Okay. So, coming to our next letter, which is... Okay. We have something more. Coming to our next letter, which is I. I represents yourself. Self-love is equally important. Please give extra edge to yourself. Okay? Last but not the least, P, which stands for people. Leadership is all about people. It is not about the organization. It is not about the plans. It is not about the strategies. It is all about people motivating people to get the job done. You have to be people-centered. You have to lead by an example. I hope many of you may have heard, as it is said by John C. Maxwell, a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. So this is how we define the term leadership. Okay? Now, I believe in order to manage multi-generational workforce in an organization, the need of the hour is to have diversity and inclusive culture. Every single company nowadays trying to accommodate basically this key feature. Why? Gender equality is not the key concern nowadays. It's happening in most of the organization. It is the inclusiveness that needs to be inculcated. Because you are Gen Z people, right? You are vocal enough. And your voice should matter. And nowadays, organizations are very clear enough and they are working on this factor that inclusiveness is the key. Inclusive culture should be maintained at every level. Now, I have seen basically personally that Gen X people are less engaged in technology. They are kind of digital immigrants, basically. But they have experience to handle the complex situation with patience. Wherein Gen Z people seems to be kind of little bit impatient. They just want everything needs to be done in one click. Why to wait? And they lack kind of stability factor. I believe that this won't be a biasing situation or statement. Pardon me if you feel so, because I belongs to Gen Y. I'm not saying because of that. But yes, I somehow feel that Gen Y finds a good balance between technology and stability. Again, it's not a biasing situation. Please pardon me for that. Now coming to the factor, second what I believe, how you can manage multi-generation workforce is by continuous learning. I am a firm believer that saturation comes in business, not in brain. Do you believe so? Right? What I believe, that we can learn at every stage of life. Everything which is happening has so much to give to us. So learn from that. Okay? What organizations can do, they can let their employees learn from Gen X through their experience by, let's say, mentorship and knowledge transfer programs, wherein Gen X can also learn on a similar note the new technological aspects through Gen Z. So this is a continuous learning aspect which I believe that will be helpful to manage multi-generational workforce in an organization. I find that there is no finishing line for learning. For me, learning is infinite and so is the passion. So don't forget to fuel your passion. Thank you so much.